All right, let's talk about something we've all been through, the team project. Today, we're going to break down a bulletproof framework that can take any group assignment from, a total disaster to a real professional success. So let's dive right in.
I mean, you've been there, right? That chaotic, last-minute scramble, the final project that looks like five different people wrote it without ever talking to each other. Or, hey, what about that teammate who just vanishes? It's a feeling we all know, but I'm telling you, it really doesn't have to be like that.
Because see, with the right system in place, you can actually take all that chaotic energy and turn it into something, well, something genuinely impressive. We're going to walk through a process that gives you structure, gives you clarity, and helps you create a final product that looks like it came from one single focused team.
So, to make this real, let's use a classic example. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to create a complete marketing plan. We'll use this as our case study as we go through all the steps.
And look, the goal here isn't just to check a box and get it done. Nope. It's about creating a polished, professional document that actually looks like it came from one unified team, not just a random collection of people. Seriously, this is about building something you'd be proud to show a future boss.
Okay, so first things first, you gotta assemble your team. Before anyone even thinks about writing anything, you have to build that solid foundation. This is all about setting your team up for success right from the get-go.
Now, this is going to sound super basic, but trust me, it is absolutely non-negotiable. The second you get your team, you need to get into your shared digital workspace. Your very first job is to find two things: the Content tab and the Members tab. You need to know where the files are, and you need to know who you're working with. Think of this space as your project's command center. All right, now we're getting to the core of the process. Instead of looking at this as one giant, scary project, you're going to start seeing it as a series of totally manageable steps. We're breaking the whole thing down into an 8-part blueprint.
And here is exactly what that blueprint looks like. See? The project isn't just one huge task. It's broken down into 8 separate assignments. Each one builds on the one before it, which creates this really clear, logical path from the very beginning to the very end. This is your roadmap to success right here.
And here's the best part. For every single one of those 8 assignments, the workflow is exactly the same. It's super simple. One person downloads the document for that week. They share it so everyone on the team can contribute. You all work together to answer the questions. And then, and this part is absolutely critical, you review it as a team before anyone hits submit. It's a simple, repeatable process that just stops mistakes in their tracks and gets you into a really powerful rhythm.
Okay, so you're doing all this work week after week, but how does it all come together into that one final amazing project? Well, this next part, this is where most teams totally drop the ball, but it's where your team is going to shine, and it all comes down to being smart about your documents.
Okay, this is probably the most important rule of the whole process, so listen up. You have to understand the difference between two documents. On one side, you've got your assignment document. Think of this as your weekly rough draft space. It's for brainstorming, for getting messy, for answering the questions for that week's assignment. Then you've got the marketing plan template. This is the master document, the single, polished, beautiful final plan. Every week after you finish an assignment, you copy the polished version of your work into this master file, and you never, ever submit this master file until the project is completely done.
And this right here is exactly why that's so important. You have to avoid that dreaded 5 people who never talk to each other look. You know what I'm talking about. If everyone just throws their part into a document at the last second, it's gonna be a disaster. The whole point is to have one cohesive plan with a single professional voice. And the only way you get that is by building it piece by piece in that master template every single week. And let's think about the real-world stakes here for a second, because this is not just about a grade. In the real world, if you turn in a messy, unreadable plan, well, management is just going to fund someone else's project instead. It's that simple. They're going to back the team that shows up with a clear, unified vision. So think of this as your training ground for the real thing.
So, you've followed the blueprint, you've worked together, you've built your masterpiece piece by piece. What's the end result of all this hard work? What do you actually hand in at the end? In the biz, we call these the deliverables, basically the final products you deliver.
And the answer is surprisingly simple. It's 2. That's it. You produce exactly 2 final polished things. No messy folder of random files, no bunch of separate documents, just 2.
And what are they? Well, number 1 is that master marketing plan document we've been talking about, that single, cohesive, professional-grade plan. And number 2 is a presentation slide set, all ready for you to present your awesome plan to your class, or, hey, maybe one day to a boardroom. That's it. Clean, professional, and totally complete.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Is a group project really just about getting a grade, or is it actually a rehearsal for your entire career? Because when you use a system like this one, you're not just doing an assignment. You're practicing the exact skills, we're talking collaboration, organization, clear communication, that are going to make or break your success long after you've forgotten all about this class.